Hello, today's Bible study comes from 2 Thessalonians chapter 3 verses 9 and 10, and it reads as follows. We did this not because we do not have the right to such help, but in order to offer ourselves as a model for you to imitate. For even when we were with you, we gave you this rule: the one who is unwilling to work shall not eat. And as you know, this is a time when Paul was telling them about us being idle. And Paul had told the Thessalonians that, hey, he worked for his. It wasn't that he was entitled, he worked for it. And Paul starts off and he tells them the reason why they did this. And it was not because he didn't have a right as this apostle, because he did have a right to. But he wanted himself to be a model for them to imitate and look at and say, I can still work and do God's work. For even when we were with you, and Paul tells them, hey, while we were there, he said, we gave you a rule, and that rule was simple. The one who does not work or unwilling to work shall not eat. And this is a basic principle. I mean, you can look at us in this world, and Paul says, if you don't want to work, neither shall you eat. And what it truly says, it really tells you that what we don't see is God plans to provide for us, and God plans to provide for us. But it is through our work that we receive. We can't just sit here and say, okay, God, okay, God, okay, God, and expect it to happen. Even Adam in the garden had to work. God started us off that way. Why would we deter from the way the Lord had us set up? And God can provide all our needs. We know that. But God meets our needs. God does his work through us by our works. We can't make disciples if we don't go out, work, and make disciples. We can't talk to God if we don't pray, work, pray to God. We can't show love if we don't love, work, kindness, work, compassion, work, patience, work, endurance, persevere, long-suffering. These are forms of work. And God provides in all those instances, but we have to put in the work. And Paul is telling these Thessalonians just that. He understands, and he's hoping they understand as he tells them this. Amen.